Sometimes, on the way to a dream, we get lost and find a better one. That's what my mother used to say. And that's how most of us ended up on Salt Spring. We were all following a dream. Dreams of all kinds. We're still following dreams. Salt Spring, no doubt, is full of dreams. So this is Fulford, the southernmost town on island, home of the $5 cheese stick. They say this is where the hippies live, although it's getting harder to find them as the years go by. Population morphs and changes, and the cheese stick prices go through the roof. My journey to Thailand starts here. There's an elderly woman who has lived alone on a small property for over 30 years. She has a few acres of land, a big beautiful vegetable garden, some chickens and a rooster. She sells her eggs and organic vegetables at a little farm stand at the end of her driveway. A wealthy couple from a big city on the mainland bought the house next door to her and proceeded to add all kinds of unnecessary complication to the lady's life. They tried all of the legal ways possible to force her to get rid of her rooster. Beyond being kind of rude and selfish, it's just really missing out on the vibe or the flow of things here. Had that wealthy couple put some effort into trying to make Salt Spring weird again, or at least keep Salt Spring weird, that couple could have had free eggs for life. Free organic vegetables for life. They could have had good relations with their neighbor, living peacefully on a small island. Here's a map of Canada. That down there is Vancouver Island. Tucked in right beside it is Salt Spring Island. Kind of looks like a pterodactyl head. This is Leon, cool dude from Germany, and this is his tattoo. So as we can see, we've got Ganges up here, we've got Fulford down below, and then on the west side we have Vesuvius, very small town, and those are the 3 points that the ferries go to. Before we take a ride to town, let's back up a little bit, poke our heads into Fulford Hall, and hear a little bit of the real gospel from Nashville's finest, Mike Ferris. Mike visits Salt Spring every year or two. He's an awesome performer. Okay, now let's head to the town of Ganges, along the Fulford-Ganges Road.
Hello. If you don't mind, I'll take it from here. I'm pretty sure the fact that you bought those goofy jeans is cutting into your credibility a little bit. You might ask yourself, what kind of fool would walk down the road with a lay-pole custom on his back like that? What is he doing? Where is he going? And where did he get those silly jeans? Besides, my voice is much more trustworthy when it comes to sharing specific facts. So, Salt Spring Island is one of the Gulf Islands in the Strait of Georgia between mainland British Columbia and Vancouver Island, which we call the Big Island. It is the largest, most populous, and the most frequently visited of the southern Gulf Islands. The largest village on the island is Ganges. The entire island is known for its artistic community, Salt Spring was initially inhabited by various Salishan peoples before being settled by pioneers in 1859, at which time it was renamed Admiral Island. It was the first of the Gulf Islands to be settled by non-First Nations people and the first agricultural settlement on the islands in the colony of Vancouver Island that was not owned by the Hudson's Bay Company or its subsidiary, the Puget Sound Agricultural Company. The island was known as Chuan Island in 1854, but it was also called Salt Spring as early as 1855 because of the island's salt springs. In 1859, it was officially named Admiralty Island in honour of Rear Admiral Robert Lambert Baines by surveyor Captain Richards, who named various points of the island in honour of the Rear Admiral and his flagship, HMS Ganges. Even while named Admiralty Island, popularly it was referred to as Salt Spring. According to records of the Geographic Board of Canada, the island was officially retitled Salt Spring on March 1st, 1910. The north side of the island was originally settled mostly by African Americans from California, while the south side was settled by native Hawaiians known as Kanaka. Other settlers included those from Portugal and the British Isles, including English, Irish and Scots. Black settlers left California in 1858 after the state passed discriminatory legislation targeting African Americans. Throughout the 1800s, Vesuvius and Ganges were predominantly African American communities. Racial tensions arose between August 1867 and December 1868, when 3 black men were murdered in the community of Vesuvius Bay. The murderers were largely blamed on the local coastal indigenous community. Many of the murders remained unsolved by authorities, leading to a hostile environment for black residents, whose population subsequently dwindled. Much of the youth moved away to Victoria, Vancouver, and on occasion to the United States. During World War II, 77 Japanese-Canadian families living on Salt Spring Island were forcibly relocated away from the coast due to the internment of Japanese Canadians. Gavin C. Muat was appointed custodian of the properties they left behind, despite evidence of verbal reassurances given to the families in which Muat said, "When you come back, not one chopstick will be missing from your home." Muat sold the properties below market value using his custodial rights without the consent of the owners. Salt Spring Lands Limited, of which Muat was the president, ended up purchasing some of the properties. Only one of the interned families returned. The Murakamis. The Murakamis purchased property on the island again. During the 1960s, the island became a political refuge for United States citizens, this time for draft evaders during the Vietnam War. In addition to Canadian dollars, island banks and some island businesses accept Salt Spring's own local currency, the Salt Spring dollar. The island's highest point of elevation is Bruce Peak, which is just over 2,300 feet above sea level. Salt Spring Island has many hiking trails. 2 of these trails are rough and windy trails that lead to the summit regions of both Bruce Peak and Mount Tuam. These 2 mountain peaks are the tallest points of land on the southern Gulf Islands. Short hikes can also be found on the island. One of these is the 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, long trek to the summit of Mount Erskine, which is 1,430 feet above sea level. Cycling on Salt Spring Island may involve large elevation changes and poor road conditions with limited curb space. It's still fun though. Just be careful at the bottom of the hill coming into the town of Ganges. And don't forget to wear your sexy biking shorts and a helmet.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know about the pants. Thanks for the info. You're definitely more informative than me. You have a better speaking voice. I'm willing to work with you on this, as long as you don't turn into too much of an asshole. Fair enough. You made some good points. Thank you. There's a bumper sticker that is getting quite popular on Island. During the lockdown, a lot of people moved here from cities nearby without really assimilating to island life. It's definitely set us back a little bit. A boat ride doesn't make a missionary, much like a ferry ride doesn't make an islander. Becoming an islander is more like the process of those cicada bugs. You dig in, plant yourself on a small island, wait 7 years, and then if you're lucky, you get a new set of wings. There's definitely some kind of transformation or metamorphosis that takes place. Since about the year 2000, there's been a bump in the road at the bottom of the hill leading into the town of Ganges. I saw a woman lying face down on the road with her bicycle beside her and a broken collarbone. She was being tended to by others. The last bicyclist lying on the road with a broken collarbone, I picked up and drove them to the hospital. Another time I watched a tourist on a rented scooter wipe out on one of the sharp corners on Rainbow Road. I drove that guy to the hospital too. He was pretty banged up and obviously in shock. He's healed up fine. So be careful on these roads. It's not worth ruining your vacation. So back to the bump in the road. There were times where it became a giant pothole, but the spirit of Salt Spring struck again when one of our priceless Salt Springers planted a Christmas tree in the pothole. Let's stop at each of these crosswalks as we go through town, and we can go in a few places and check things out. Starting with this one, and right here we have Beachside, and across the street is Mateata. A cool bar with a heavy West Coast feel to it. I've never met the owner, but rumor has it he's a super nice guy. A drummer, a guitar player, and a huge fan and supporter of live music. Thank you. Today there's a big outdoor music event happening. Not only that, there's something very, very special coming up right here. My son, Atom. I love that guy.
This is our life. This is our
Woodland Band, everyone.
Another round for the beautiful ladies. Vocalists, thank you.
Right at the corner, that's TJ Beans. TJ Beans, that's Tim and John. Those guys are staples of the community. They do a lot here. Can't say enough about those guys. Great location, good coffee, great guys. Across from TJ Beans is the cassette. It used to be a gas station, then it was a taco shop for a while. Now it's cassette. I'm told by a reliable source that they make the best mixed drinks on island. And their Tennessee style crispy chicken sandwiches are apparently really good.
Oh, come on. Are you sure you're okay? Sounds like you've had a few mixed drinks yourself. It really would be wise for you to stay in your lane. Tongue twisters are in my lane. Check this out. 3 times super fast, which I already know is going to blow your mind like that woodland band you won't shut up about. Ready? 1, 2. Best mixed drinks, best mixed drinks, best mixed drinks.
Salt Spring Inn. They make a pretty awesome burger there. The bun is twice the size of the burger, but once you get to the meat, it's very, very good. It's the only place on island you can get a bucket of fried chicken. There's a guy named Tom who works there. I think he's the manager. Or he used to be the manager, or as far as I know, Tom runs the place. That's my belief. But Tom's a super cool guy. Big heart. I've seen how well he takes care of his family. He's a good man. Moby's, here's the popular hotspot for the youth and the Sailor Park boys. And the tourists that come in on boats and live in the harbor for a while. There's always some great music going on at Moby's. We've got a huge menu, great French fries. There's a new owner there the last couple of years. He's done a lot of work on the place, and it's a fun place to go for an evening. Moby's has an open mic on Sunday. A lot of young talent start off in a place like Moby's. Sunday, open mic. It's worth going. You might catch Eckhart Tolle working on his interpretive dance routine. This is the biggest parking lot in town. We've got the post office, grocery stores, hardware stores, some local art, and the infamous Treehouse restaurant. There's one establishment that has had a huge impact on Salt Spring. The Treehouse. The Treehouse is run by Mark LaCour and his family. Mark has an extensive resume of doing live sound for some big players, but I'm not really familiar with the details, except that he was the live sound man for the Tragically Hip. I do know that Mark's wife works diligently behind the scenes to keep the Treehouse Cafe running smoothly. There are some great families on island, all working together to do what they do. It's nice to witness.
Every time
Mark has now passed the torch to his son, Jackson. Jackson's a cool dude. I remember he was doing sound one day. I was standing beside him just enjoying the music, and Mark, his father, came up to him and gave him a bit of advice about adding some EQ to the bass or whatever it was. And I said to Jackson, wow, I wish my father would come up and tell me stuff like that. And Jackson said, I wish my father wouldn't. So I get it. I think the baton has been passed. He's tired. He's received the baton well. And there's a lot of bands and a lot of musicians here that just love him. Treehouse, I have a lot of respect for the musicians that come and go from there. They have a tradition where they pass a bucket around a few times during the show, and that works out pretty good for the musicians. Musicians also get a meal each, and a drink, and awesome audio. When you're a musician, and you show up somewhere and somebody cares about the sound, it's such a nice treat.
Every early morning, while we rush out the door, kiss through your car window, it's all we have time for. Wanna pack it up, don't sit still enough, we just wanna stay right here. When's it gonna be our time? Feels like youth is fleeting, somehow sifting through the blind. Stash our hope in knowing we got our whole life.
I noticed a guy the other day in the local grocery store who had a t-shirt on that said, I love Salt Spring. I was kind of conflicted. I didn't know what to think about that. Because I love Salt Spring too, but I think I probably dislike it about half the time. About as much as I love it.
What the f*** is that? Is that your friend Paul, aka Dr. Brian? I can see on his name tag he is the front end supervisor. He sure looks like a man who would prefer supervising the rear end. Oh, That's right, he supervised the rear end for years. He probably misses it deeply, I'm sure. I hear he is a pretty good dancer, but he likes George Michael and Elton John. Maybe that's how he got into rear end supervision. If you are incredibly fortunate, he will give your bum a once-over next time you shop at Cunty Grocer. Don't forget to mention, if you are hungover and are looking for a Western diner-style all-day breakfast, Dagwood's is a good choice. The owner is a cool guy, relatively speaking. He's no slouch. He takes orders, flips burgers, fries his fancy Shy-Day sausages, and even makes his own West Coast salmon patties. I heard through the trusted Salt Spring grapevine that Eckhart Tolle will be doing one of his avant-garde dance routines along with that crazy Woodland band you keep going on about. Apparently the Boomers love Woodland. They say they are bringing it back. What it is, nobody really knows. As far as I can gather, it's some kind of funky fusion with big open pockets of improvisation. Really, these guys just play whatever the fuck they feel like in the moment. And it's a bloody good thing they all know how to play their instruments, because that kind of music can get out of this world pretty quickly if you are not as skilled as I hear these gentlemen might be.
On the drums. So it goes like this. We came to have a real good party. Let's have a real good time. We came to have a real good party. Everybody bubbling wine. Yeah. We came to have a real good party. Everybody come wine your body. We came to have a real good party. Yeah, yeah. Hey.
So, this is the Atom Lazar Quintet. Cool. I assume that is your son's band. Does he take this band off island to any of the cities nearby? Because these 5 musicians would even give Woodland a run for their money. Obviously, the guitar player is quite a bit sexier, and the drummer is way better.
This intersection here we call Central, the only four-way stop we have on island. We had a bit of a dilemma here because there's cars coming from all different directions. So we had to come up with a unique solution to keep that flowing. Cars coming from any direction have to stop and give the right of way to the person who is on their right. In order to facilitate that, we put 4 stop signs. There's this one. There's this one. This is number 3. And the 4th one, for some reason, they put it up backwards.
Check this out. In the interest of comparison, here is an intersection in Bangkok, and they say Asian ladyboys can't drive as good as Westerners. The world truly is full of bullshit. I dare you to rent a scooter in Bangkok. It's a tricky wicket indeed.
This intersection hosts our Northern Fire Hall, our teeny tiny theater that seems a lot like watching a movie in somebody's living room. There's also the Gospel Church and the park with a soccer field, a baseball field, some tennis courts. If you follow this road straight up, you'll get to St. Mary's Lake. If you hang a left, that'll take you to Vesuvius. If you turn right, you'll end up meandering yourself right back to town. And if you come back down the way you came, that'll take you back to town too.
Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise. We've come to free your mind. You can find the key to live a life sublime. You give all you can give and live your life like it's a gift. If you wanna find your place, you got to leave your space. Cause that's the only way you're gonna elevate. Yeah, you gotta hold the line till it's showtime. Yeah, and just let your spirit shine. Well, sometimes there ain't no easy way to say all the things that we need to say. And we spend so much time looking for the easy road when all we need is right there in our soul. Let your spirit rise. You gotta shine your light for the world to see. And let everything be what it's gonna be. Yeah. Listen to your voice and make up your choice. And just let your spirit shine. Well, sometimes there ain't no easy way to say all the things that we need to say. We spend so much time looking for the easy road when all we need is right there in our soul.
There's absolutely no doubt the thing I missed the most recently is living with our kids. I miss jamming with my son and listening to him practice his drums 8 hours a day, which at times can be quite frustrating too. We switched out our living room sofa for a drum kit when Adam was about 4 years old. The focus in our house has always been music and practicing. We have since downsized, and now my wife and I live in a much smaller place. Our kids have grown up and moved on, and I guess I'm just a big suck, because I miss them a lot, even though they are both just a few miles away. I think the town of Vesuvius was named after the first captain of the HMS Ganja ship, and the town of Fulford was named after the admiral's dog. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you can figure it out. It's got such a cool history. It was originally inhabited by the Salishan people and then was settled by pioneers. It became a part of the Underground Railroad, bringing black settlers up from California. I'm not sure what was going on here during the Second World War. Probably mass psychosis like everywhere else. At some point, the hippies took over. The whole island was considered a hippie island. Canada legalized weed a few years ago, and Salt Spring has been smelling like weed for decades. The hippies kinda got bummed out when guys like me moved here and changed the feel of the island. Now since the lockdown, a lot of mainlanders have moved here from the cities and have changed the feel of the island once again. Now money is taking over.
entering of the sea. Who hired the sun?
There you go. So this is the local fish and chip shop in Vesuvius. There's new owners. I haven't been there since the new owners took over. The old owners had all-you-can-eat fish and chips. They'd give you 2 pieces of fish and chips, and then when you finished that, they'd come back and say, "Would you like more chips?" I don't think the new owners are doing all-you-can-eat fish and chips. All-you-can-eat fish and chips on a small island is certainly a way to put yourself right out of business. You go broke in a hurry. Being on an island, it's kind of like having a moat all around us. There are only a few ways to get on. Most people use the ferries. Those with some extra cash use the float planes.
He's like, yep, I've seen this happen 100 times. Look at the funny blonde girl.
The other alternative is to swim over from Vancouver Island, like the occasional bear and cougars do. If there's ever a cougar or a bear, they just start tracking it based on sightings. They track the sightings, keep tracking the sightings. A map will go up online with dates and times of the sightings, and then no more bear, no more cougar. People get to practice their bow and arrows, so they're very eager. If you come on island and you're a dick, you want to hurt people, whether you're a bear, whether you're a cougar, whether you're just some dumbass human being, the people of this island are going to take you and kick you off. You're gone. We don't tolerate it here. It's so unnecessary. So the names of the towns. Ganges was named after HMS Ganges, which is a British warship. Fulford, I think, was the name of the first mate on that ship. Vesuvius, they say, was the name of the admiral's dog. I'm going to be fact-checked in a bit.
Yes, and so you should be. Because not only do you wear silly jeans and have what I would consider to be a rather dull voice for this kind of work, apparently you can't read very well either. And nobody cares about some dead admiral's dog or some old warship that probably fucked things up for people all over the place. It's 2024. So stop living in the past. And by the past, I mean the 90s, the decade of the silly bleached jeans. That was also the decade when all of the cool keyboard players cut their hair short and sold all of their 5 cool keyboards for a DX7. And now we call them wankers. Or tossers if you prefer.
For an island 9 miles wide and 18 miles long, there is an unusually high concentration of extremely talented people. The island is loaded with artists of all kinds. Musicians, authors, poets, freethinkers, and free spirits. There have definitely been times where I felt this place was a little too woke for me, but I've come to terms with that. People from all walks of life, from all over the world, from every profession you can think of, people who are at the top of their game. Even some true legends congregate here, and we all call this place home. Richard Murakami and the Murakami family. Wow. Did they ever get put through the ringer here? There's only a couple pictures of Richard Murakami online. The best one I could find was done by another artist that spent many years on Salt Spring. I think he's recently moved off, but his name's John Cameron. And this guy is just a phenomenal photographer. His work is incredible. Again, he's top of his league. Sometimes I would do audio for the GISPA program, some of the shows that they put on. And John would always volunteer his time to make incredible photographs. He's got a website, johncameron.ca. If you're a photographer, you should have a look at his work. It's absolutely spectacular. Richard would fix my car. He was an auto mechanic. One day he told me directly, right to my face, that it was the Freemasons that stole his land. The Water Buffalo Lodge boys. Dumbass chopsticks quote that one of these Water Buffalo Lodge guys said to the Japanese people before they got interned and lost all of their property and belongings. He said, "Don't worry, when you guys return, not even one set of chopsticks will be out of place." The Murakami family came back on island. Richard donated land to community services for low-cost housing. So now there's a 2-story apartment with 25 units. That's really helping out. He also donated land for a small Japanese park in the center of Ganges. Being on an island, everything's a little more expensive. They say it's because you have to ship everything over on a ferry. But the ferry costs like $50. You've got an 18-wheeler full of coconuts, and you add $50 to the cost of transporting that. I don't think it's going to double the price of a coconut. So, overpricing on Salt Spring Island is based on greed. It has nothing to do with transportation costs. I doubt the cost of a ferry would add more than a penny to a coconut. There are many different forms of spiritualism going on here too. We've got New Age, baggy pants and man buns. We've got old school Anglican with the robes and flagpoles. We've got pseudo-native Indian sweat lodges. We've even got the big hats over here at the Water Buffalo Lodge. All of our bills have the same Albert Einstein quote written on them. "How I wish that somewhere there existed an island for those who are wise and of good will. In such a place, even I would be an ardent patriot." Albert Einstein. Is that Chad Kruger with my son? Does Chad Kruger live on a boat on Salt Spring? Sure looks like it. So this is Salt Spring Market. Tuesday afternoons and Saturday all day. Originally it was a farmer's market. Farmers would load up their pickup trucks and sell fruits and vegetables off the back of their trucks. At some point, other vendors started showing up and selling all kinds of junk. Vendors who are not from Salt Spring began to saturate the market with cheap imported crap. It began to lean towards being an outdoor dollar store. That's when again, the islanders got together, came up with a brilliant solution to keep the market for islanders and to stop the slippage of the quality of the products. The solution came in the form of a catchy phrase: make it, bake it, or create it on Salt Spring. Today there's a nice blend of artists, farmers, bakers, and cookers, all trying to produce high-quality products, which are made, baked, or created on Salt Spring. It's much better. It's perfect. What do I recommend at the market? There's some good pot stickers.
4 cards between 2 jokers. These are 4 queens, like of each different suit. I don't want to show you because I don't want you knowing where they are, but just name one of them out loud. The Queen of whatever. Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts. Touch one that isn't the Queen of Hearts. It's just a guess. That one there, I'm going to leave it right there. Touch another that's not the Queen of Hearts. Right there. And touch one more that's not the Queen of Hearts, please. Just so. That one there. And I'm going to try and get so the camera can see as well. You think this one here is your card, the Queen of Hearts. Yeah. Now, look, chances are 1 in 4, and a lot of people say hearts, but I only brought 1 queen from home. This is why I didn't want to show you the cards. I was lying. The rest of the cards are just jokers. It's the only one you could have picked. It's the only way this really could have gone. How did you know that? I didn't. You're pretty good at this.
One thing I will say about this market: if you may have forgotten just how good God's tomatoes taste, I recommend visiting the Foxglove Farm stand and buy one of their heritage tomatoes. You make a sandwich with that. That's going to be a life-changing sandwich. I'll say that again. If you have forgotten just how good God's tomatoes taste, come and get a tomato at this market and make a sandwich out of that. Worth the cost of the ferry. My wife and I were market vendors for a while. We made stained glass pieces. Here's a few pictures. When I say God makes the singers, there's no better example of that than Salt Spring's own Billy Woods. That's Billie, B-I-L-L-I-E, Billy Woods. She has such an amazing voice. Kind of reminds me of Tony Childs. That's Wesley Hardesty on the violin, or the fiddle. I'm not sure what the difference is other than the way you play it. Wesley, I'd say he's a violin fiddle player. And some of those squeaks he can get out of that, oh, it's heartbreaking.
I will never hide what I want wanna say. Gave you all I had, was the only way. They tell you what is right, I ask who are they. I follow what I feel, what feels right today. I know there is more than this. I think take it all in just to see. Forgive me if what I give isn't enough. Love is about to set free.
Wesley was a part of the GISPA program. GISPA is an acronym for the Gulf Islands School of Performing Arts. You have to audition for that program, but it's basically, instead of going to high school, you go to performing arts school.
Stop to mess around and listen to your thoughts. We start to fall apart, soon we are lost. Just close your eyes and feel. Have you really gone? Left your body here, left me on my own. I know there is more than this. I think take it all in just to see. Forgive me if what I give isn't enough. Love is about to set free.
Wesley's quite a special player, very unique. He's confident in what he does, and he does it well.
This dream that I am dreaming is coming to an end. All that really means is it's time to start dreaming again.
So this is the Daryl Chonka Band. One of these guys is Daryl Chonka. Daryl is an awesome addition to Salt Spring. Super kind, super helpful. He's helped me out a ton. He's helped my kids out. He's mixing the Woodland album.
They say it's getting faster every day. So I walk slowly and I look around. They say it's getting louder, so much louder every day. But the noise grows old and then it dies. The noise grows old and then it dies. Then it starts over. It starts all over. It starts all over. It starts all over. They say we're getting softer, so much softer every day. A little bit softer and we're short of bend. They say it's getting harder, so much harder every day. A little bit harder and we're short of break. A little bit harder and it's short of break. And then we start over. We start all over. We start all over.
A big part of my life and journey on Salt Spring has been raising musicians and supporting musicians. This is my daughter, Phoenix.
Under the light of surrender, being up all night beside this contender. Persuasiveness is your gift. Can't stand your tone crawling in my skin.
Here's a little clip from her album, Gold.
I wanna buy a house with you and paint the walls in gold. I wanna lock all the doors and lay blankets on the floor. Hold you like I never loved before. I wanna turn off the lights, sit in the closet for a while, spark up the fireplace and watch the flames smile at us. Spend the night swimming in your eyes. We know
This is her husband, Justin Kelly, who goes by the name Hound.
Have you felt my love today? Oh, I dreamt of you last night. While you wake, I'll get the coffee made. Keep dreaming. Have you seen my mind today? Seems I lose it every week. Quit my job, haven't had it long. Tuck and roll, dodge it all. I wanna tuck and roll and dodge it all. You know me better than I could ever know myself. Oh, you know me better, love me than I could ever love myself. Love myself, love myself. Why get lazy? Why get lazy? Don't you know me better than I could ever know myself? You love me better, love me than I could ever love myself.
Together, they have a duo, Fox and Hound. It's spelled kind of funny. FAWKESHOWND.
Welcome to Wyoming. Fire of thunder and lightning, open air and empty eyes. I know the space can be so damn frightening.
Emerald Hills of Montana, tune up the radio steady. I could go on like this forever, but I don't think my heart would have it. And I try to make it feel like home. Wish that it would feel like home. Better than surrendering to what I know.
Cornfields of Kentucky, sunrise with a gas station coffee. It's been a while since I've unpacked my bags. Oh, the light that I'm craving, I try to make it feel like home. Wish that it would feel like home. Better than surrendering to what I know.
I don't know where you go, frankly, lady, I don't care. 'Cause every bone in my body says follow you anywhere. Touchdown, unfamiliar, but it feels like home. I'm here now, sow the soil while I wait to grow. Almost stop myself from stepping into the sun. I'm here now, live the story and it's just begun. 'Cause I don't know where you go, frankly, lately, I don't care. 'Cause every bone in my body says follow you anywhere. I don't know where you go, frankly, lately, I don't care. 'Cause every bone in my body says follow you anywhere.
Their bass player is a real sweetheart and a gentleman, Sam Shewitt. And Adam plays drums. fulfill my obligation to be informative, here's Art's fish and chip fish chowder recipe. I used to have it when I was a kid. And if you really want the real goods about the history of man, check out some population geneticists. So I went to the Treehouse restaurant recently to get a bite to eat and hear some music. I ended up talking to Rafi for a while. Rafi is the baby beluga guy. He gave me a great piece of advice about Salt Spring. If you want to buy an avocado, apparently, according to Rafi, Thrifty's Foods have the only firm avocados on island. Salt Spring is a place where you can be yourself. You're encouraged to be yourself.
Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya.
Wear your favorite hat. We'll even compliment you for wearing it. You are encouraged to express your creativity. Create some art, whatever you love. Salt Springers are not fans of big chain stores. There's no McDonald's, no Starbucks, no drive-thrus at all. Not a lot of choice when it comes to buying a pair of shoes. There's no traffic lights. There's only one four-way stop. Hardly any street lights, just in town. It can get pretty dark at night, depending on what the moon is up to. Sometimes you can't even see your feet when you're walking down the road. We used to have a Dairy Queen on island many years ago. We got tired of those little plastic spoons all over the place. The town folk boycotted it, and it just went out of business. Couldn't survive anymore. We come together when we need to come together. There's rumor for years that Eckhart Tolle lives on Salt Spring. That rumor is true, confirmed. Confirmed by his gardener and his plumber and his electrician and his roofer and quite a few people I know that have done some work for him. So from what I hear, they all love him. He treats them well. While you're visiting Salt Spring, if you're really fortunate, you'll be treated to Eckhart Tolle working on his interpretive dance routine at Moby's Pub, open mic, on Sunday afternoon. I heard that one day, Oprah Winfrey joined him and they did a little duo routine. But you can't believe everything you hear on a small island. There's a lot of rumor and innuendo, a lot of bullshit, a lot of crazy stories that aren't true, and a lot of incredible stories almost impossible to believe. Rumor is she bought the place next door, and that between the two of them, they own an entire mountain. And they're gonna call the mountain Tolle Winfrey. Tolly Winfrey Mountain. As far as I can remember, my relationship with Thailand began with a song and a sauce. The song was A Passage to Bangkok by Rush.
Our first stop is in Bogota to check Colombian fields.
The sauce was President's Choice Thai sauce. I used to put that on everything. You fix any stir fry with a dollop of Thai sauce. Greg Parker does some of the more high-end audio work on Island. He's another super helpful guy, always willing to pitch in and raise the quality of some of the music productions that take place on Salt Spring. Greg knows how to put a big team together. And that's Sarah singing. I'm not sure who the bass player is. That's Mike Stefancic on drums. He's another staple of the community. Another incredibly helpful guy with a big heart. Like many, Greg brings what we call off-island technical experience and wisdom to this little oasis. He's just another cog in the wheel, really. But it would be quite a bumpy ride without men and women like Greg. I asked my brother if there were any place in the world he would retire, where would that be? He said Thailand. And I was kind of surprised because he spent 7 years in Japan, and I just thought he would say Japan. So that got me thinking, since I love the song so much, and I love the sauce so much, and my brother's telling me that's the place he would retire, I thought I should check it out. A good place to start, trying to figure out where I want to be. I love Salt Spring, but I'd like to spend 6 months of the year outside of Canada. I'm a little bit tired of being ruled by a drama teacher. When I was in high school, my drama teacher's name was Miss Peace. The drama teacher we have right now in charge of our country It's the farthest thing from a peaceful man. It's just very disappointing. Our leader is not in touch with the people anymore. It's simple as that. I wish he was, but he's not. Unfortunately, he no longer represents any of the Canadians I know or live among. That's not going to work. We used to be known as a peaceful country, a country of diplomacy. Today, not so much. I think we should get back to that. First landed on the shore of Salt Spring, I remember admiring the sense of freedom that some of the islanders have. Many are free-spirited, easygoing. This little oasis and the people here have had a positive influence on my life and the life of my children. It has changed us and shaped us into who we are today. Like many islanders, small-town people, I have a love-hate relationship with island life. Pretty sure it's a normal thing. We can find freedom anywhere, but in some places it's a little easier than others. This island has been a blessing to my family and I, although there has been many a day when I couldn't recognize or appreciate that. So much of our daily contentment and happiness depends on things that we may or may not be able to control in a way that we'd like. Relationships, finances, our hope for the future, weather, temperature, diet, the neighbor's rooster. Everyone has their own experience with a particular city, town, or in this case, island. The way each of us feel about a particular place is way too difficult for me to figure out. It's a complicated mess of randomness and the interconnectivity of all things. Divinity is in there somewhere too. Maybe that explains the love-hate relationship. Maybe I'm the weak link. There are highs and there are lows. Could be simple boredom. It's not unique to island life either. Any city can offer that up. Any small town. Even living on a boat. I'm not smart enough to know if it's just human nature why we get this fed-upness or locational anxiety on a seemingly regular interval. Maybe it's the seasons. Winters can be tough. Boredom can set in pretty easily. Or maybe it's the stars. Maybe Mercury is rising and falling all over the place. The pristine nature and wildlife, the peacefulness and tranquility, I take it all for granted most of the time until I leave and come back. Then it takes on the qualities of an oasis again. Fresh water, safe, fun place with cool people doing cool things. One of my pet peeves, living on a small island, everybody knows everybody. At least they think they do. So many Salt Springers have a vast history. If you ever meet any of them, you'll see. They'll surprise you. You definitely can't judge these books by their covers. But we do. As Salt Springers, we do it to each other. We judge each other. It's not wise. It's part of that typical small-town mentality to think you know someone because you see them in a grocery store or your kids go to school with their kids. I'm guilty of it. Accepting that is a part of being a member of a community. In particular, being a member of a community on a small island. It's one of those small sacrifices we have to make for a greater good. Winters can be tough. Long and gray. We only get a few weeks of snow, but the rain never seems to stop. There's an old Indian saying I heard while visiting another island close by, Hornby Island. The expression goes, if you leave someone from the tribe on the island over the winter, when you come back to get them in the springtime, they're already crazy. Too late.
Get up. Well, get up.
This is Long Harbour Road. Long Harbour Road is about the only straightaway we have on island. It's the only place I'd ever use fifth gear in my car. At the end is the ferry dock. There's a story about a ferry worker that was going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. He was riding a scooter, and as he was coming along, he came face to face with a male deer. Teenage deer. The deer on island are quite small compared to your average deer. But still, those young bucks, they got some serious horns and they've got some testosterone or whatever it takes for them to get excited. They can be dangerous, definitely. He was trying to drive by him and the buck was not having any of that. They just went head to head. The buck came barreling at him, full speed, and they butt heads. The ferry worker ended up breaking both of his ankles, scuffed up his scooter. He said that the buck kind of shook his head and looked at him and seemed really pleased with the results of what he had just done. That ferry worker had to lie there for 15 minutes, however long it took them to come and get him. Destiny is hard to avoid. Salt Spring Island, like any other place, is what you make it. It's a cool place. You can feel free here. You can wear your favorite hat, walk your favorite walk, be yourself. It's encouraged. The word Thai means free, so Thailand translates to the land of the free. We could all use a little bit of that. Thai people call Bangkok Krung Thep, which means City of Angels. Who wouldn't want to live in the City of Angels in the land of the free? Sounds perfect to me. Probably no roosters pissing you off at 4 o'clock in the morning there. You think? My first hotel. The second place I stayed, I was woken up by a rooster every morning. I can go back to sleep too. It's not a big deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's the first of many to come. It took me quite a while to complete it, but like I said at the beginning, my journey begins here. This is my home, Salt Spring Island. I love my home, and I'm tired of my home too, so I think we all probably feel the same way. At this point in my life, I guess I'm just an old guitar player from Salt Spring. I don't really feel that old. I just feel like I'm from another time. A time long, long ago, where there was freedom and you could speak and people could have different opinions. It was okay.
Nice ending, Fancy Pants. Look at you go. I am beginning to think maybe I should move to Salt Spring and start that reggae band. If you don't give up on this stay tuned Thai video project, which I assume you will, why don't you let me do a little more of the voiceover work in the next video? I found your contribution to be a little underwhelming, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. Or the second nicest possible way. Actually, I mean just shut up next time and let me do the talking. And please do forward my paycheck as soon as you get a minute. Because I'm going to Thailand to bang some lady boys and smoke copious amount of shitty marijuana while sitting on a beach with my budgie smuggler bathing suit. I think you call it a Speedo. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day when you can learn to work and play and get along with each other.
Listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street.